Yo, what is up, folks? MTG here with a deck that is just taking over Pioneer by storm with Neoform Oculus. Seems to be appearing in every set of League 5.0 results or Pioneer Challenge that gets posted, and is very, very sweet and really, really good. It is based around Abhorrent Oculus, 2 in a blue, for a 5/5 with flying. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, manifest dread. So look at the top 2 cards of your library, one onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2, the other into your graveyard. If it's a creature, you can flip it face up. So if you hit another Oculus, like, hey, 3 mana, get another one, and then all of a sudden you're doing it twice. Cool. But has this downside on it. It can take over the game like very, very quickly, coming down as early as turn 3, but as an additional cost to cast the spell, exile 6 cards from your graveyard. That is normally quite a lot of work. You need to get a bunch of cards in your graveyard to enable this. We do have some ways to do that. However, this version of the deck evolves around Neoform. Trying to do this basically on turn 3, be able to Neoform and then have a land free to then have interaction up. There's green, blue, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a creature card with a mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's mana value, put that card onto the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter. So the idea here is that we sacrifice a 2 mana creature to get Abhorrent Oculus into play with skipping, bypassing that additional cost to cast it, and then adds a 6/6. Even better, even better. And to do that, we have some really nice 2-drop creatures that all evolve, would you believe it, around finding Neoform, or in some cases finding lands and getting cards of your graveyard in case you draw these and actually want to cast them like fairly. So we have 4 copies of Flagi Archaeologist, 1 in a blue for an 0/3, enter the battlefield, mill 3, put a non-creature non-land card from among the mill cards into your hand. If not, hey, you get a counter, but ideally, again, you find that Neoform. We have Augur Bolus, a real classic, 1 in a blue for a 1/3, ETB, look at the top 3 cards, reveal it into sorcery, put it into your hand, the rest go on the bottom, and then we also have Thundertrap Trainer, 1 in a blue for a 1/2, a little bit weaker. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards, reveal a non-creature non-land card from among them, put them into your hand. These ones go on the bottom of your library, whereas like Archaeologist goes to the graveyard, Augur Bolus goes to the bottom of the library. But these, the Archaeologists and the Wayfinders, which we also have, put cards of the graveyard. Wayfinder looks at the top 4, finds your land card. Finds you the 3rd land, hey, that's good a lot of the time. And those cards in the graveyard from these help you actually cast Oculus free. So we have a pile of cards that help search for Neoform to then Neoform away into the Oculus. That's great, and then we kind of fill the rest of the deck out with some interaction. Again, ideally, you're playing one of these on turn 2, finding your combo piece with Neoform, and then on turn 3 you're casting Neoform, sacrificing one of these, and then you're going to have 1 mana spare effectively to hold up interaction, and then obviously you want to interact on turn 1 as well. And so we have a number of things to do with that. Primarily, we have Fading Hope. This will help us get us through early game. Blue, return a creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, scry at 1. That scry ability, again, helping you find the Neoform. Also, additionally, all of these you can reuse. And also, one thing I didn't mention is that Thundertrap Trainer also has Offspring. So later in the game, if things go late versus some of the slower decks in the format, you can like effectively kick this to get 2 copies of it, look at the 2 cards, and get you some advantage on the board as well. Super, super nice. But Blink Effect, being able to bounce and reset these, which are also, in some cases, very good blockers, is just really, really powerful, and really like helps you out with some of the aggro matchups. We also have Essence Flux, 4 copies of this, exile target creature you control, and then return that card to the battlefield under its own control. If it's a spirit, put a counter on it. I've not done a spirit check, but I assume none of these are spirits. But being able to flicker either these in play to reuse the effect, again, trying to find a Neoform or interaction, or when your opponent tries to remove it, if they have a good removal spell, flickering the Oculus to protect it, all fantastic. Then, creature interaction, protection, we have Stubborn Denial. One of the like best, it's hard. There are a lot of good counter spells, but for what this does, there's like nothing better. Blue instant, counter target non-creature spell, unless the controller pays 1. Okay, so you get like a early game. This is just a little, just could be like a nice counter spell anyway. But Ferocious, if you have a creature with power 4 or greater in play, say Abhorrent Oculus, for example, this is simply counter that spell. It's just a negate, which for 1 mana is very, very good. So again, ideally, you're like Neoforming away, and then maybe you have a Stubborn Denial already, and you get to like kind of spell like counter their interaction for your Neoform, but then once you have the Oculus in play, you can counter whatever else. Super, super solid. We then have Timer's Stand as another way to protect. Importantly, this gives hexproof and indestructible, so even versus wrath effects, except for Sunfall, which is notable at the moment because the Niv, the Bring to Light Niv deck does play 1 copy of Sunfall. You can still get exiled, but Timer's Stand protects versus pretty much everything. And then, kind of rounding everything out, we have 2 copies of Bushwhack, which finds lands or fights creatures. Both good effects. Again, like on turn 1, being able to make sure that you've got the 3rd land, so you have interaction up for when you make Oculus, very good, and then traverse, once you have cards in your graveyard, I mean, early, again, you can use that like Lay of the Land effect to kind of find a basic land. Later on in the game, we'll just tutor you for either Oculus, once you have the cards in the graveyard, again, versus some of the like slower decks in the format where the game might go late if they've interacted with you a lot, or just like finding you like one of these effects to kind of find the next Neoform and kind of get you in that way. Really, really solid shell, and like I said, this has been putting up some fantastic results. Mana base, 4 Breeding Pool, 4 Botanical Sanctum, 4 Bark Channel Pathway, 3 forests and 1 island. We're playing like more basics than you might expect, but that's because we have these Lay of the Land effects in Bushwhack and Traverse, and then 1 Boseiju and 1 Otawara to round things out. Also, notably, being able to traverse for the Boseiju or the Otawara potentially can be quite nice later in the game as well. I'm going to be taking this into some best of 3, so I also have a sideboard for you. And because of the nature of this deck, with all of these effects that we can use to dig for instant sorceries, we have like there's a lot of different pieces that we can board into. Into the Floodmore, interacts with creatures, but also be able to bounce on that permanence. In particular, this is going to be here for aggro decks, trying to kind of make sure you're not dying to the red decks early. Spell Pierces, forcing through our Neoforms, having more interaction versus some of the combo decks in the format. Disdainful Stroke versus Ramp. Negate and Mystical Dispute kind of fighting the counter battles for you. 2 copies of Unable to Scream, which deal with like problematic creatures that you just don't have great answers to. 2 copies of Natural State for problematic artifacts and enchantments. This was a nice pickup from Pioneer Masters to Arena, at least. Wasn't previously on the platform, but it's obviously been in Pioneer for a while. 1 Test of Talents. This card is really sweet. Again, we've got playing through a bunch of instant sorceries. In particular here, counter target instant sorcery, such as controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name and exile them. If they have them in hand, they draw cards, but is really nice versus like Bring to Light, some of the like Lotus Field stuff going on the format, and this just generally like can be a really nice tool. Paw Patch Formation is a nice answer for pretty much not everything, but kills big flyers, enchantments, and at worst is like drawing you card and gaining you some life. So it's a nice like sideboard card versus like even some of the like creativity type decks where they've got like a couple of like big flying creatures you need to deal with, or potentially where you something like Enigmatic Incarnation or Niv Mizzet where they've got like Leyline Binding or problematic enchantments can be really solid answer to those. But then also like worst to worst, you can just cycle it. And then lastly, 1 copy of Ghost Vacuum. Some graveyard hate, and some graveyard hate with some sweet upside. But like tap to exile a card from a graveyard, but 6 tap it, sacrifice it. Each creature card exiled with a Ghost Vacuum onto the battlefield under your control. They're 1/1 spirits, but is like very good versus some of the decks in the format. You can just like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like have some graveyard hate here, and eventually I'll just put it all onto the board and kill you with it. Deck again is super sweet. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Would help me out a ton. Do you like? Share the video around if you know anybody who'd be interested, and yeah, let me know what you think of the deck in the comments as well, and if you've got any ideas. But yeah, I'm going to take this into some best of 3 ranked matches. Alright, first matchup here with the Neoform Oculus deck. Like I said, this is on like the cutting edge of competitive play right now in terms of new decks in Pioneer. This is kind of sprung out, not out of nowhere, but like is new in the meta, so I wanted to take this into best of 3 just to see how good it is in a competitive environment. So here we have like this traverse, so we can go get a blue source off the Bark Channel Pathway. We then have some interaction, and then Thundertrap Trainer. I'm actually going to keep this, even though it doesn't look super powerful by itself. We have a couple of ways to find the Neoform. We're going to start getting cards in our graveyard, and we should be solid across a number of different matchups. The third, Fading Hope, not my favorite, but yeah, we'll see how this plays. We want Island here. Blood Crypt tapped. I mean, like, they could be on some kind of heroic deck, but it definitely implies Rakdos midrange, and yeah, it does seem to be Rakdos Demons. In this situation, I'm going to cast the Archaeologist before the Thundertrap Trainers. Obviously, if you get to late game, these are better anyway, but here the cards going in the graveyard does mean that we, if we just, like, draw into an Oculus naturally, we can do that. I'll grab the Stubborn Denial. We would like to draw a land. But, hey. Worst comes to worst, we can try and, like, buy some time, and try and find the Neoform for the Archaeologist, at least. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're going to burn it. Yeah, they do not want us to have even the shot of Neoforming that away. I'm going to kill it here. Land here would have been good. We can Thundertrap here. This can't find us a land, unfortunately. Alright, Time Stand. I'm recycling, looking for a Neoform. We have to discard here. I'm going to discard 1 copy of Fading Hope. We have 2, and we can like interact with these creatures. We are going to be dying like reasonably quickly. But the point here being able to use Essence Flux potentially multiple times if we're having to look for... Oh gosh. If we're going to have to look for... Okay, they're going to kill the hot... They're really trying to keep our board clear. They know like we're neoforming stuff. I'm going to... Fading... This is tough. Because I would like to get the scry here, but I think we need to keep the Shield Dread off the board. So I'm going to do this on upkeep just so that we get to draw without taking damage. Okay, and we draw a pathway. They have 2 other cards still left in hand. He's to go Trainer here. The other line is to like Fading Hope and do nothing. I think we just have to play this, hope they don't have removal, try and get into a Neoform. We've still not seen one. At this point, they're playing their removal as they kind of see it. I'm going to take this up denial. In theory, this should be right. But, yeah. And the other thing is that if they want to play removal here, they have to pass up on casting Shield Dread. Unless they have, like, land Fatal Push. Wait for it. Shockland. And this can activate here, and they're not too worried about taking damage. I am going to do this again, just try and buy as much time as possible. Interesting. If they do have like the Fatal Push here, no, they're gonna get the loot in while they can gain their life. Is fair. So no Fatal Push. Draw. Ugh. Wayfind is a little bit ugly. I mean, the threat of double blocking isn't very real, but we can kind of cycle this Tyvar stand. Our plan here basically is to Essence Flux the Thundertrap Trainer, but because we're not got the extra yeah, we're not gonna be able to do much about this. Like Fable's gonna happen. We can't actually block, unfortunately, because it's Menace. Pass, take the 3 down to 8, and then what else have we got? Fear of missing out. Yeah. This is tough. Maybe like our hand was okay. My one thing I'm thinking is like, should we be putting that back to try and find like a hand that has the combo? Just take the risk of going down to 6. So ends up here. I'm gonna Lux the Thundertrap Trainer. I mean, I guess we're taking the Bushwhack. This has been a little unfortunate. Alright, we draw Oculus naturally. We can put this into play, which is good. We just don't have a way to protect it. So I think we will do that. It just might be a little too late. So I'm going to exile. So we want to keep types for... So where possible, we want to keep types for Traverse. Thinking. Yeah, if we get rid of creature. Because then it's likely we end up blocking something away. So we currently have 3 cards in our graveyard. 4 once this goes. I mean, yeah, the Oculus is going to come into play face down. We hopefully get to flip this face up. That'll be a little bit telling. We do have to worry. The Shield Dread, unfortunately, is going to be a massive problem in terms of us closing the game out because we are on 8 life. But we can fight it down. We'll see how that works out for us. Right, so then combat, they have Fear of Missing Out online. I'll have to see what they pick here. They're going to pass. Let's draw. We want to hit a land if possible. We don't hit a land. We can Bushwhack for a land. We can fight Shield Dread. Can we wait a turn is the real question. This is going to flip. They're going to have the Bloodtithe Harvester online. They've got 1 blood token. We have Tyvar. Oh, we can we can't indestructible end fight because the. Okay, so if we we can't Bushwhack for green and then type our stand and then fight still, because we still only have 2 greens. Should we set up to that next turn? Can we afford to take 2 here? We're going to get 1 more token. We could just flip this and then manifest 2. That seems the best play, unless we have nothing else. The worry is this blade of the only token. Okay, so if we're going to do that, we should bushwhack to find a forest. And then play forest, flip this. Okay, I don't love it, but here we are. So now manifests. We'll take archaeologist, I guess. We actually want a creature in our graveyard, so I'm going to manifest on the Nile. Yeah. Wild times. So the sphere missing out, and the tokens here, because like we want to double block this. Which depends what we're putting where. So we kind of want to get the shield off the board. If given the opportunity, we'll just fight it down. Okay. I'm gonna loot here. We have a few different things we need to deal with, because we still need to deal with oh yeah. I mean, that's a good draw. That might be game. With fear missing out. So if they make these ooh, interesting. That's spicy. What are we picking here? We block like this and get the... Oh no, we don't get the double block back if we do that with the Shield Dread. But then we go to 1 and die to the Shield Dread trigger. Unless we can... No, this is sorcery. We don't have another way to bounce. What happens if we do... I mean, bad things happen if we do this. Leave Shield Dread in play. Yeah, because we don't have another blocker for this thing. I think we're just dead. Yeah, the untap attack with the blade is brutal. Oh yeah, the blade still gets to attack? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Right. That was a little unfortunate. We just couldn't quite get everything assembled in time. So sideboarding here. Unable to Scream is interesting yet to turn off like children and stuff. We don't want to take too much from that game. In terms of what we care about, we want to be able to protect our creatures. So like the spell pierces like have some more value. However, they are dead versus like the creature half the deck, but I think that is okay. Against Disdainful Strike, I'm not really interested in a lot of these, but I guess the other thing is that the deck doesn't want to sideboard tons and tons of cards in and out. They have like some other creatures, but like not loads. They're not being hyper aggressive, so that's fine. Just having the spell pierces also like get us in a reasonable place. They're probably going to board into some hand disruption, but kind of like being able to go like Island Go and then like count out the turn 1 Thoughtseize. I don't know if I want to bring in like any of this other stuff. Might be. I don't think I'm missing anything big. So in terms of 2 cards we want to cut, these like Fading Hopes are like pretty awkward towards bad. And then I think I cut a State Wayfinder. We just trim 1 enabler, and I think State Wayfinder is the worst one out of these. I think we need to have the land effects. So let's get with this. All right, we're going 1 game down. Play it out from here. See if we can win 2 on the trot to get there. We will play first. Okay, that's a mulligan, unfortunately. Oh. There's just no way this is keepable either. Yeah, we go to 5. This hand has a lot going for it. I think this is the keep. Yeah. But the problem here with this kind of hand versus rat, okay, they don't have a turn 1 kill. We actually have the stubborn denial, so I'm gonna say a wayfinder here. Just make sure we have a land to cast it, or try to at least. If they're planning on fatal pushing, they might just do a response. Oh, they got torch. Sure. That exiles, which is worse for us, and we hit nothing, including a Neoform, but it's not the end of the world. And seeing the torch makes me feel like, oh, I should have brought the archaeologist in, but we can't read too much into that. I think this is the correct play in terms of trying to have interaction. We still just kind of have to play our stuff out. The mulligan is tough. It's kind of where we are. And it's like, do they have interaction with the archaeologists? If they do, rough. If not, this is what it is. We got a FOMO here. They're gonna loot. We'll see if they have a fatal push, similar, or a Thoughtseize. Any of those things kind of gets there. I'm absolutely no way gonna block, even though it's like very unlikely that you die to some damage based thing here. And then yeah, we kind of just have to do our thing. Would love to have mana open for Summon Denial Spell Pierce. Not, but we need to be a little bit careful about triggering Revolt for them. That's the main thing. They have a Mutavault, but triggering Revolt here, we should at least get some value. We have Oculus in hand if we can find a land. I'll put the Oculus into play. Means we don't want to necessarily block. They don't have Delirium online to like clock us very quickly. Our clock in the air is a lot faster. There's like no pressure on us to attack at all. But let's see what they have. A Harvester. Okay, they have the blood token to enable Revolt. Maybe they don't have it, but hey, we got a fatal push coming our way. Yeah. Now we have this card is an Oculus that we know we have. We also have Oculus in the. What happens if you Essence Flux of Fate down card? I should know that. I'm gonna find out. Hey, that's what we wanted. I'm pretty sure this comes back as an Oculus. At this point, we've got Augur in hand. We've got Stubborn Denial, Spell Pierce. I'm gonna take the Neoform. Oh wait, take the Neoform. Yeah, sorry. Ignore me. This decision does not matter at all. Oh yeah. Alright. I was like, I'm sure if you flicker him off, you get the other half. In fact, built stuff around it. We've got the fatal push. Yeah. We do keep our 2/2. We got a 10 here. There's no real point in blocking. We got a 10 now. They have a Mutavault. Oh, they got Fable. Again, we're kind of like shorted by the number of lands we have in play. We're gonna cast Augur here. At least try and get a double block in, but we are a little toast. Missing the land on the Wayfinder was rough. Regret not casting the Archaeologist and the Wayfinder the other way around, but not like we had loads of options here. They're gonna alternate these, so they swap into other things. I will double block one of the Fear of Missing Outs. We're going to take apart damage here. In fact, assign damage. You get a 6 here. This can attack again, but we can block it. It's an interesting one. Thoughtseize matters very little for our current situation, unfortunately. Kind of drawing dead. Well, I mean, We're on 4. We're not completely drawing completely dead. I'm going to cast an Oculus. We'll get to manifest, and then we'll see what happens. So again, kind of just trying to keep some Essence of Delirium online. Instant. We're going to leave a sorcery here. Creature. Creature. Ideally, leave one of these. Oh no, we've got plenty of creatures on the ground still. That's all our Oculuses. All our other Oculuses are in the graveyard already. No attacks here. We'll go to manifest. See what we see. Sure. Yeah. Essence looks like really good if you can like manifest Oculus with Oculus and get to flip it up for 1 mana instead of 3. Do you have a way to pull us back? They don't have this online yet, but we just have so many things we have to deal with still. We can't really crash in with Fear of Missing Out. Even if they untap Children, we'll get to eat the Fear of Missing Out. If they have like a Fatal Push, obviously we're just kind of gone. They can also animate Mutavault. Okay, we're at 4. We can take like no damage. This is a tough one. We're going to untap Children. How does this go? Block like... Yeah, we just have to throw it under the bus, right? Yeah, we should have no other recourse, really. Yeah, because we can't just take 4. Well, what if we do this? We take 2 to go to 2. Oh, they can just pass with the Shield Dread. Did they just pass with the Shield Dread, though? There's nothing that says they need to attack again. Yeah. Not my favorite situation. Yeah, because that is 1, 2, 3, 4 Oculus is gone. And that leaves them with Reflection, Fear, Missing Out combo. So I wanted to try and eat this, but we just couldn't take the damage. And they could just pass the Children and we just draw into nothing. We had a blue source, we could try and find a way to bounce Children, but we do not have anything here. Alright. That's the first match. Alright, that was super tough. Both games where we got like really short on lands. Just like if we hit the 3rd land at any point, missing off the 8 away Wayfinder on the mulligan was rough, but we're on the mulligan to 5. It was going to be a tough one. We will play here. We have combo stuff going. We'll go ahead and keep this. The bus is slow at X. There is some consideration for being like, oh, okay, if we have interaction, we can like actually cast a 2-drop on turn 3 with protection, and then go for Neoform. Black Key Cliffs. Are we on an we aggroing? We are. Okay. Assuming they take the Thundertrap Trainer. They see the Neoform. They probably know what's up. I'm going to take the creature. Unfortunate for us. If they play a 2-drop, I'm like very likely to just... Okay, they're going to go again. This time, one of the Neoforms. Okay. So... Oh, Jund. Now I am curious. We have an Archaeologist, but there's like a very good chance they have like a Fatal Push or something here. Unfortunately, we just don't have the mana to be able to... Again, kind of short on lands here. We'll see. Yes, despite these Thought Seizers, Jund... No, okay, Jund's mid-range, yeah. They're on Anax and Demons. Okay, so... we kind of get to do our thing a little bit. We'll go ahead, Archaeologist away for an Oculus, and see how things go. So, things to be aware of. Yeah, we have a pile of protection, but they know we have some protection. We want to dodge like any kind of exile rare. We will go ahead and manifest the Oculus. And we have Essence Flux for that one, which is also very cool. Being able to flip these 4 mana, really good, it turns out. I'm not going to use this while we only have the one mana up. if we go to our turn, because we don't need it flipped till their turn, we can kind of take a turn off being able to have all of our interaction here. And now we don't have, if we try and do this, it's not going to get blown out per se. And either way, it's still a 2-turn clock, really. I'm just gonna flux this rather than using the indestructible spell. Look at the 12. I'll say go. It's a manifest 2. Sure. And sure. And then, like, do they have a wrath? If not, hey. And if they had that removal spell on that turn, like, we got a little fortunate here. But off the back-to-back Thoughtseize, I think we kind of deserved it. So, similar to Rakdos a little bit. We're not sure what the green's for at this point in time, but again, it's a weird one. I like the spell pierces because they answer, like, our key point here is keeping a 2-drop in play, so having a way to protect it, and then the second part of it is, let's not just get, like, hand disrupting out of the game again. Be able to, like, spell pierce the turn 1 or 2 Thoughtseize, or even like Snag Fable or something else. Annex as well, also very good. I'm not super high on any of these. If we see more of their deck, it might be that the Stroke or the Negate, like if they have Planeswalkers, it'd be more tempting, but as is, I think we're putting these in, and we're gonna trim down on 1 Fading Hope, and again, 1 Wayfinder. Actually, I've been, you know what, the lands have been so tough to me. I'm gonna go -1 Augur. Both of these get to see, well, you see three cards and 4 cards. This gets to see the same number of cards as Archaeologist, but Archaeologist fills the graveyard up for Oculus. I'm going to keep the 2 Wayfinders, but I'm absolutely being biased in the fact that we've just been, like, rolled for lands. So, hopefully this works out. Seems solid. Excuse me. Not sponsored at all. Just have a bottle because the bottle's nice. Now, they do have the Thoughtseize, so they have a choice here. We have Trainer plus Neoform, but we also have Stubborn Denial plus Oculus. Are they worried about... Well, what are they worried about? Exactly. They're going to take the Oculus from hand. That implies that they have some answer for the turn to the Trap Trainer. We're going to play this Sanctum out. We're not going to reveal this. Which means we maybe do not want to play this on turn 2, especially if they just say go here. We just are not going to play this out. Duress, we kind of have to let go. They have mana up to pay. Hey. They're going to be a creature in our graveyard. They're going to put sorcery there, take the Neoform. Alright. That leaves us more open to just playing this out. We're then going to get... we're missing instant with the Summon Denial here. And then we would need to get, like, land in our graveyard somehow. Yeah. This is going to happen. I'm just trying to think about this Thunder Trap Trainer. The problem is the Summon Denial doesn't necessarily protect it for most things. We're just going to play this out. I think. Have a look deeper into the deck. Okay, Bushwhack may be the one of the worst possibilities. But does put... Oh wait, no. We have sorcery in the graveyard already. Oh no. Okay. So, kind of similar situation to the last game. They have 3 mana untapped. They're gonna come into the red zone with a Mutavault. We are not gonna block. I mean, later on in the game, like train. Oh, that's interesting. This gets an instant for this, but we're not there yet. I think this comes to play tapped. And I don't really have any interest in blocking the Thunder Trap Trainer, so I'm going to attack with it. We'll just go ahead and do this. Alright. So that's 3 mana, 4 mana. Things like Annex, thinking about. We've not seen exactly what the Green Splash is up to here. You might be thinking like, oh, we could blow them out with the Tyvar stand on the Thunder Trap Trainer. Not really interested in engaging in that and getting like 2 for 1. Alright, Spell Pierce. Now it's a little bit more tempting. But Well, yeah, we're drawing a little bit dead. Instant into our graveyard, and then we would need like land somehow. They're at 5 mana. I think I'm just gonna fatal push this. I will green, blue. 5 our stand for 1. Feels weird, but does stop the Meteor attack. This also means if they then have like Fable or Annex or something, then we can Spell Pierce. Or if they have Liliana or something, they would have bought it. Maybe you wouldn't board that out, but like you never get to Oculus for it. Okay. Instant sorcery creature. This traverse is so close to being able to do something useful. Are we gonna have the opportunity to discard any cards? Not really. I think we just rather have the mana in play. Let's say go. I don't just want to cast this Bushwhack for thinning, because later on in the game this becomes a bit more of a kill spell. Or can be, potentially. They have Ritual. I mean, we should interact with this, I guess. Yeah. Let's try and keep a creature in play. Like, we've lost 1 copy of Neoform. It was the other one we milled 1. And then, I can't remember, it's on the bottom of our library. Okay. Let's get some information in terms of what they're boarding into anyway. This obviously clears up stuff. Sure. Red zone with the trainer. We milled over a second Oculus, which is a little awkward. Alright, there are 16. We now have Traverse for this. We can't Stubborn Isle this one. But we will have Stubborn Isle open next turn. Hopefully I don't have a second Ritualist. I mean, we could maybe counter it. Contest. Counter? Yeah. So we're traversing for Oculus here. I don't think this is controversial. So ideally, we've got 1 land. I'm gonna exile the Oculus in our graveyard. Can we keep 1 of those? Keep 1 sorcery. 5. We need 6. Probably get rid of another creature. Yeah, I think this is fine. Land's the hardest one for us to get there. I think keeping the breeding pool. We could also fight this down, but if it wants to come into the red zone to kind of like scrap us, that's almost okay. Oh wait, we're never gonna fight this. We've got the summon denial up. We need that. Of these, the trainer is actually more valuable because there's some chance that we end up like bouncing it back to our hand and reusing it. I know it's kind of niche corner case either way. So Fable step 2, what are we discarding? Oh. So this is like junk creativity. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Like we said, we haven't seen any green cards yet, so it would make sense that the green cards they're playing are just copies of I have them in my actual sideboard right now. A poor patch formation. We will stop and denial this. I guess again, not controversial. They're at 16, we're at 16. We have Essence Flux plus Augur. I'm gonna cast Augur here. Basically trying to find another counterspell. So like looking for a denial. Okay, so versus this version of the deck, then the spell pierce kind of effects are a lot better. We will definitely just want to keep Summon Denial here. We've got Essence Flux up to protect with. 1, 2. They can eat the Thundertrap Trainer if they need to. That's okay. I mean, we could flicker it. Yeah, they're just going to trade away. So they take 7 down to 9. We'll get to Manifest again. Yeah, I should maybe have cottoned on when I didn't play any actual creatures game 1. I've been playing this deck a little bit recently. In fact, I posted a video with it a week or so ago. Maybe actually it might have been pre-Christmas. But do check that out if you're interested. This deck is very powerful. I'd say one of the best decks in the format. Probably the best version of creativity. Yeah, but the green is basically only for Paw Patch formation and maybe some sideboard cards. Paw Patch formation just like does an excellent job of making like you can cycle it for a free token on turn 2 if you have the combo stuff, but it also is like great answers. Artifacts enchantments. No pressure to right here. So I have 5 in the air. 1, 2. They have the Mutavault to block with. I don't think we should be like rushing to. Oh, okay. I think I am fairly happy to go fight the Reflection. This does enable Fatal Push, but we do have another Stubborn Denial. And we can also kind of go looking for another one. So then we'll go to attacks. I'm going to offer the same attacks as last time. Leaving the Fable token in play is a potential disaster. So we don't want to just use this Stubborn Denial on anything, but we may, well, we'll see. They don't have enough mana to like actually like cast Atraxa or like the treasures required. This is fine. Generally, the Jund deck plays one Valgavoth, one Atraxa, and then one Green Titan. Titan of Industry. Sure. Yup. They're on 2. Hopefully we're all good. If they have the thing that gets us actually is if they have like Thoughtseize into Wrath Effect. If they have like Thoughtseize into second copy of Ritual Set, that's tough. They at least get to Wrath us. We do have the Neoform again, but hey, we're gonna try and find another counter spell. Don't know if they're tanking on the decision or they're just stalling us out of time. Alright. Yeah, our last opponent at the end there did just kind of time us out. But hey, deserved win in that one. Did have a rough loss in the first match. I think we got a little unfortunate with the way our lands worked out. And also, yeah, no, I think I could have played a little bit better with the second game anyway, but we just had so much, we're on the mulligan and it was really tough to go back into it. Notable things I didn't talk about in the intro to the video. 1, you can flip the Oculus for 1 mana with Essence Flux, which I should have realized, but like it comes up more often than I thought it would do as well. Like sure, like sometimes you'd be able to like pay 3 to flip this up, but hey, also like as well as being able to pick all this stuff, like even more value out of Essence Flux here, even if it's only going to come up like once in a blue moon or every like few matches or so. The deck is very strong. The Bushwhack, like as a fight spell, is interesting. Obviously you can't really fight stuff with these creatures. It could come up early in the game versus some of the aggro decks, I suppose. But you are still risking stuff here. And yeah, we found ourselves like light on lands like a decent amount. So definitely like I would never board these kind of lens effects out. And also similarly like I mean we missed on the State Wayfinder the one time we really needed to hit a land, but hey, it's what can you do? It's what it is. It's still going to help you a little bit. That being said, you definitely I think want to in general trim Wayfinder before you trim Augur. These are obviously the best things. Like you should need to find the Neoform. State Wayfinder is the next best, but yeah, I was just a little biased because I'd like missed. I'd just been so short on lands on it. I was like, we'll like leave both Wayfinders in and cut the Augur. Sideboarding for this deck, generally you're not going to want to cut a lot of cards. The core of the deck is like very solid. I think versus decks that are not like attacking you a lot, you can like trim Fading Hope to make room for some stuff. Not loads. Again, it does help you out on your stuff occasionally, and even like the mid-range decks there, like we absolutely wanted to cut. Even in the match, even in like the creativity match, you can bounce when they're creature tokens the targets. That's not going to come up that often, so I would still trim on Fading Hopes. And obviously you can bounce the Atraxa back if they hit that, but like both the Titan is very castable and also resetting it back to their hand to get them to like cast it again in a long game is really tough. The Valgavoth, you have to sacrifice a bunch of things. I'd still trim on this a little bit, but I would be like, all right, I'm going to cut one of those in that matchup. where you're against very slow stuff, you can cut multiple. You just kind of have to be like, all right, I just don't have space to cut a lot of enablers. The deck is very, very reliant on having a 2-drop on turn 2 to be able to Neoform away. So you'll be boarding in like a couple of cards, and that's kind of why you have such a variety of sideboard pieces and some real kind of silver bullets with the Test of Talents and the Ghost Vacuum as well. Deck is really, really good. Even though we went like 1-1 in this video, I just wanted to play best of 3 to showcase things. And again, I will I think I mentioned this while we were timing out, so I'll sped through it. But if you want to see more of this, I'll play it in the upcoming Explorer Metagame Challenge. So let me know in the comments, and I will queue this up again for some more best of 3 content, and hopefully we can go on a big run there. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share it around. All that stuff helps me out a ton. If you have any other decks, meta or non-meta, any breach stuff as well, let me know in the comments. If you want to see me, if you want to see me play with it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.